Buckle up, boys and girls. We are heading to 19th century Britain to discover Emmeline Pankhurst's role in the suffragette movement.
Let's begin in 1858.
Charles Darwin introduces the theory of natural selection and evolution.
Minnesota is admitted as the 32nd state in the United States.
And on July 14th, the 69th anniversary of Bastille Day, a revolutionary figure is born in Manchester, England. Emmeline was born to slavery abolitionist Robert Golden and feminist Sophia Jane Crane, who were the first people to influence Pankhurst in her political views. At a young age, Emmeline was an avid reader of the Woman's Suffrage Journal and soon idolized the editor, Lydia Becker. When Emmeline had just turned 14, she returned home one day from school to find her mother leaving for one of Becker's conferences on women's rights. Emmeline begged her mother to tag along. Pankhurst later said, "I left the meeting a conscious and confirmed suffragist." A year later, Emmeline left Manchester to receive a better education in Paris. When she returned, she became active in political activities and soon met 44-year-old Richard Pankhurst, a popular advocate for women's suffrage. In 1879, the couple was happily wed.
Emmeline gave birth to her 5 children. However, her husband died in 1898, and unfortunately both her sons died at a very young age, and she was left with her 3 daughters, Christabel, Sylvia, and Adela.
Even after Richard's death, Emmeline continued to fight for women's suffrage and joined the Women's Franchise League and later the National Union of Women's Suffrage Societies. The NUWSS campaigned peacefully, held meetings, and signed petitions. They took pride in their law-abiding ways and non-militant tactics. Despite their efforts, the government continued to ignore the plea for equal rights. Disappointed by the failures of previous unions and felt that political parties would never make women's suffrage a #1 priority. Emmeline also felt it was time to abandon the patient tactics of the NUWSS and push forward more militant actions. Thus, on October 10, 1903, with the help of her 3 daughters, Pankhurst founded the Women's Social and Political Union.
Located in Manchester, the Pankhursts and their supporters were determined to win the right to vote by any means. Their motto soon became "Deeds, not words." They campaigned tirelessly and violently to achieve their goals, often resulting in arrests. Tactics involved arson, mutilating works of art, and public suicide. Emmeline Pankhurst was arrested several times and showed defiance by going on hunger strikes. Each time she was arrested, the members of WSPU only became more and more motivated to fight harder for women's rights.
In 1907, Emmeline Pankhurst moved to London and furthered a national movement with enthusiastic volunteers and paid organizers. WSPU became a political force that roused the country. As World War I began, Emmeline switched gears and made efforts to recruit more women into war work and munition factories.
After the war, Pankhurst went on tour in the U.S. and greatly influenced American suffragists.
Emmeline's suffragist efforts paved the way for future feminists who furthered the fight for women's rights. Upon returning to England, women over 30 were finally given the right to vote in 1918. However, it would not be until 1928 that women could vote on par with men at age 21, just before Emmeline Pankhurst passed away. Hello, my name is Sylvia Pankhurst, and I wrote the true biography of my late mother, Emmeline Pankhurst. I accurately describe how my mother originally had great political influence from my father, and how she followed through with them until she created the WSPU, where she went crazy, even expelling me from the union. I hope my book gives a clear understanding of the true woman my mother was.
Hello, I am Christabel Pankhurst, the eldest daughter of Emmeline Pankhurst and co-founder of WSPU, the Women's Social and Political Union. My book, called Unshackled, The Story of How We Won the Vote, reveals the generous and selfless actions of my mother. It portrays her as an influential and charismatic leader who devoted her entire life to women's suffrage.
Hi there, I am Martin Pugh, the author of The Pankhurst. In my novel, I portray Emmeline Pankhurst as an opportunist who seeks to marry an important man so that she can be socially active. Likewise, she is a bad mother who plays favorites as well as a weak leader of the WSPU since she constantly relied on Christabel, her daughter.
Hello, I am George Dangerfield, author of The Strange Death of Liberal England. It describes how the public is manipulated by the Pankhurst outrageous suffragette movement. Their violent tactics and unconventional approach gave more reason for women to be viewed as irrational and incapable of keeping their actions in check, therefore hindering the overall ability to achieve a vote for women.
Hi, my name is June Purvis. I wrote Emmeline Pankhurst's biography as a white, heterosexual, middle-class feminist who admires the leader of the WSPU. The importance of a woman-only movement was a way for women to articulate their demands and raise consciousness to the commonalities all women share despite their differences, and the primacy of putting women's rights first.
Hi there, my name is Paula Bartley, and I wrote Emmeline Pankhurst, a biography discussing her involvement in various women's suffrage organizations. She remained dedicated to parliamentary democracy and women's rights. Her determination never wavered to gain a vote for women, and she stayed true to her fundamental values and guiding principles.